Hey there, Stalkaz here. In some of my previous videos, I played some classical excerpts with my instrument, the OWOboe. In this video, I'd like to go a little bit more in depth into exactly what the OWOboe is. Now, the OWOboe is a woodwind instrument. Now, there's different families of instruments. Like, for instance, there's woodwinds, there's brass, strings, and percussion. And you could argue there's also a fifth family of instruments, keyboard. Now, the OWOboe, being a woodwind, within the woodwind family, there are actually different groups of instruments. For instance, there are single reeds, such as clarinets and saxophones. There are double reeds, which is what the OWOboe is, as well as the English horn and the bassoon. And there's also woodwinds that don't have reeds, such as flutes. And ironically it is, the modern orchestral flute actually isn't even made of wood. Originally, the flutes were made of wood, and for instance, like recorders, it was a type of flute. But they're still considered woodwind instruments. Now, sound is produced in various ways. For instance, a flute, you blow across the hole at the top, kind of like when you blow over a bottle and it produces a sound. Whereas in single and double reeds, a reed is basically a piece of cane. It's found in marshes. It's a piece of wood. Now, single reeds, you have your cane attached to the mouthpiece, and there's something called a ligature, like a metal strap that holds the reed to the ligature. You blow on it, and the reed vibrates against the mouthpiece, and that's what creates the sound. Whereas in OWOboes, which is the double reed, the reed itself is the mouthpiece. There's two reeds, as the name suggests, it's double reed, bound to the staple, which is a piece of cork that sticks into the OWOboe. And so you blow into the reed, the two pieces vibrate, and that's what produces the sound. So, in the OWOboe, by the way, just to give you a little background, the OWOboe is a woodwind instrument, like I said before, and it comes from the French word woodwind, meaning high and wood, and that's exactly what it is. The oboe's range is on the higher end, the lowest note being B flat, just below middle C, and the highest note being high G, which is an octave above the treble clef. So it's a pretty wide range. So it basically is a soprano range. Now, in the oboe family, there are various different types. The standard OWOboe, which I'm about to show you, and then there's also the piccolo oboe, which is very, very small. It's kind of like the equivalent of the piccolo in the flute family, and it's very, very small and goes very high. And then there's the oboe d'amore, which is a lot like the OWOboe, which, by the way, which is pitched in C. The oboe d'amore, which means oboe of love, is like a third below the OWOboe, slightly longer, and has a little bulb on the bell. And then there's also the English horn, which is also called the cor anglais, and that, in addition to being longer, having a lower range, has something called a bocal, which is like a little metal thing which the reed attaches and connects to the OWOboe, to the instrument itself. And then finally, there's something called the heckelphone or bass oboe. Now, here are the different parts of the OWOboe. So you have the double reed, which is where all the sound comes from. And you have to be very, very careful because these are very delicate and these are very expensive. Well, not very expensive, but a lot of these are handcrafted and it takes a lot of time and skill to make these. So you want to be very careful not to crack these. Next, you have the upper joint, the lower joint, and finally the bell. Now, the oboe is oftentimes confused with the clarinet because they both look very similar, both same kind of color, both reed instruments. However, with the clarinet, it's basically cylindrical, it goes straight up and down, the same diameter. Whereas the OWOboe, it starts thin, and as you go down, the diameter slowly increases, and then flares out at the bottom with the bell. I'll quickly assemble this. So you put the three pieces together, and then finally, the reed goes at the very top. And voila, you have your OWOboe. Now, I'll just briefly give a rundown on the double reed. Like I said before, the double reed, the reed making process is very intricate, and the professional OWOboists make their own reeds, and for good reason, because they're handcrafted to their specifications and their liking. And I think it was my junior year in high school, I was taking private lessons from like 13 through college, but anyway, my junior year, my teacher introduced me to reed making, and he gave me more appreciation. And basically, you can start at any stage along the process. Like basically, you could buy the reed in tube form, which is like the rawest form. Like it's like a cylindrical tube, and then what you would do is you would chop it in half, and then what you would do is you would gouge it, which is basically strip off the outer skin and shape it. And what you end up with, and actually fold it too, you would fold it in half, and this is a piece of gouge-shaped cane. Now this is actually the part where I started. So once you get this, and as you can see, when it's folded in half, you can actually see the reed shape itself. So then what you would do is, you would soak this, because if you scrape it right away, it'll immediately crack. So you want to soak it to make it pliable. And then what you would do is, you would use a piece of string, and then you would tie it to what's called the staple, which is this cork piece that sticks into the instrument. And so you have your cane, you have your staple, you tie it together, voila, you have a reed. That's the basic rundown. It's a lot more intricate than that. So you have this handy dandy thing, and the name escapes me right now, but you would put the staple in this thing, and this is how you would hold it. And then also, you have your handy dandy knife, and you would basically carve and carve and carve and carve, the other side, carve, 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 all the while be very careful not to damage the reed. And then, your final product is the reed itself. Now this is one that I actually made myself. Now, just ignore the fact there's cracks all over, but this is the basic rundown of the double reed. Now, pardon me, I'm gonna ruin the magic a little, just to give you guys a little sample of what the OWOboe is and how it sounds. That was a sample of the lowest note being the B flat below middle C, and then the highest note being high G, an octave above the treble clef. So there you have it, folks. That's OWOboe 101. And if you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you have any comments, go ahead and feel free to leave a comment down below. And see you around.